We went hiking on Saturday up at Mount St. Helens, and it was the most difficult hike that I've been on yet since we started taking all of these trips, which was a couple years ago. The trail many times was not really even a trail. We were just walking over what looked like lava flows. we hiked Lave Canyon at Mount St. Helens. I have discovered something that will change me as I continue this journey. The trip to Mount St. Helens, I was anxious because my husband was driving like he normally drives. He wasn't, most of the time now he drives a little bit less intensely when I'm in the vehicle because he knows how much that frightens me. And this time, not so much. He was doing 80, 90 miles an hour, flying around cars, just being himself. So I was already anxious on the way up there. And then we get there and we get on this more difficult trail, and we're talking walking trails that were right next to very, very high cliffs. And I have a problem when I get to an area where I can see down or long ways next to me. My heart kind of flutters and it sucks the air out of my lungs, and it's fear of heights, I'm sure. Not really fear of heights, it's fear of falling. It's fear of falling. That's the deal. Afraid of falling at such heights. So between the fear of the trail and the anxiety that I felt driving up there, and whatever else might have, the whole thing on his face, he got a phone call on Friday that he did not get. It was a phone call from the nurses at the place where he got the thing removed, talking about they needed to talk to him about the biopsy. They told us 7 to 10 days. Here it is only a couple of days later. So of course, again, my heart's skipping a beat. But he didn't get it till too late. The place was closed, so now we have to go through the weekend wondering, why did they call so soon? And of course, my brain goes right to really, really bad stuff. It can't possibly go to, hey, it's all fine and dandy, no worries. No, my brain don't go there. My brain always goes to really bad stuff. Checked my emails. There was no email from them. So it's like, wow, they don't want to talk on the phone, leave a message. They didn't email. Oh my God, it's something horrible. So that's a lot of anxiety to carry on the trail with me because I didn't know how to put it all down. I honestly believe that the amount of anxiety, the thoughts that are going on in my head, is what's causing the extreme pain on these hikes. My knees were killing me. I was very tense, very, very tense, very afraid of falling, afraid of slipping on the slippery rocks. Just really no confidence. It was hard. It was a very, very difficult trail. Very difficult for me. It might have been like half as difficult if I wouldn't have been so stressed out. And then of course is the embarrassment of holding up other people because I can't get upstairs very well because my knees don't want to function. But as I was walking down part of a trail that was even closer to the edge, I remembered a Dr. Joe Dispenza video that I had just watched about, he was talking about taking his son to a golf course, and his son was afraid of hitting a tree. And he said, what tree? And he's talking about how your mind is creating these pictures of things that you don't want to happen. The son did not want to hit the tree, but he was creating that hitting the tree in his mind. And just the act of creating that image of what you don't want in your mind creates things in your body. So that hit me like a ton of bricks as I'm just petrified because I slipped. I slipped on part of the trail, but it was covered with wet leaves. And I mean, we're really close to the edge, and it was a long way down. And of course they have sign posted everywhere that, stay on the trail. There's been fatalities here. So of course my brain's in overdrive just being petrified. But when that image or when that memory hit of that video that I watched, it was like, he's right. I'm creating images of me falling. Why the heck can't I just create an image of me just walking down this trail? Why do I have to create the image of me falling down? Just that little bit of awareness, I absolutely felt my body shift. I felt my body shift. It went, the anxiety and the fear that I was feeling lessened by so much. I was still afraid. I wasn't completely, I was still having the images of falling, but they didn't affect me as much. I know it sounds so weird. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but there was such a huge release of negative energy when I became aware of that I was creating a picture that was a really stupid picture to create. That I need to learn to create the picture in my mind of me just walking down the trail and there's no problems whatsoever. Yes, I failed at that miserably on this hike. But now that I am aware of this, now that I have felt the body shift from one of being right on the edge to downgrading that to, yeah, I'm doing this to myself. Yes, this is ridiculous how I'm feeling and I need to change this. Wasn't able to, but just that shift was major shift. That was one of those really big ahas of, wow, Dr. Joe Dispenza is so right. You know, we have a choice of what image we're going to create in our mind. And if you want to keep creating all of these horrible images, you're going to feel horrible all the time. I need to really start learning how to change my brain from always thinking up the worst case scenario and start teaching my brain to start thinking of better things. And on the way home, it hit me again because my husband was flying all the way home again, weaving in and out of traffic, doing 100 miles an hour. I don't think he'd quite hit 100, but you know, he was in the 80s and 90s like normal. I told him, I said, you know, this is really stressful for me. I said, I know you're a good driver, but I'm always looking ahead to see what other driver in front of you is going to do something that's going to cause problems for us. You know, somebody in front of us could swerve in front of us. Somebody in front of us could just slam on their brakes or whatever. You know, he is depending on, when he's doing this crazy driving, he is depending on everybody else driving just like him and staying the hell out of his way so he can do what he wants to do and not do anything stupid in front of him that's going to cause a problem. I was thinking about the Dr. Joe Dispenza thing. I am creating in my mind the worst case scenarios on the road. You know, that this person's just going to fly out in front of us or whatever. And I said, so, and it seems to me like you're not creating that. All you're creating is that you're just going to be flying around traffic. Yeah, pretty much. So he, in his mind, when he's doing all this driving that really frightens me, he doesn't see anything happening. He just sees himself being the winner in the race that he is creating. And that's what he's doing, is he is racing because he always wants to get ahead of the next car. Or he talks about he wants his pole position back. When somebody gets in front of him, he will fight to get back in front of them again because he wants his pole position back. So he is racing on the road. He wants to be the winner on the road. So that's all he sees is the race that he is in. He sees his next car that he's got to beat. And I'm creating all kinds of stuff in my mind about us having some kind of horrible accident and me dying because he's going faster than I can handle. I don't even know if I want to get used to his kind of driving because it really bothers me. But I don't know. To be so anxious when we get to the hike, and then to be so anxious on the hike with the car ride, the cliffs, and then the cancer, you know, it created some issues. I really need to work on creating different images in my mind, more positive images, not these worst case scenario images.